Stefan Molyneux had a lot to do with me causing me to become an anti-statist. I listened to all of his books, and I recall listening to perhaps 200 to 300 of his little podcasts. His arguments on ethics and free will are silly and have caused many to stop listening to him because he bans those topics on his forum. One thing that Steph advocates, which I think is mostly good, is the Defoo, which means the D family of origin. That is, he advocates that most people break off from their parents altogether, while everyone should begin treating their parents as normal people once they become self-sufficient. And I agree for the most part. Unfortunately, Molyneux holds parents to insane standards and ignores that a parent-child relationship is not normal. A parent has a child, and the child is dependent on the parent as a biological fact. The child must obey the parent to get food and safety. This parental authority is then projected onto things, one of which is the state, and the citizen must obey the state if he wants the benefits the state provides. Now, my advice to anyone is this: if you enjoy spending time with your parents, do it. If you don't enjoy spending time with your parents, don't do it. Remember that your parents were kids, and unless they had some great intellectual breakthrough while raising you, they are probably still kids. And they probably raised you like their parents raised them and took advantage of their position as the parent and finally getting to be the boss and use their superior intellect to solemnly invoke rules. And like their parents did to them, they probably acted like there is something innately virtuous about being parents and that it was the right thing to do for you to respect them. And this is all a bunch of crap, right? Parents teaching children when they are too young to evaluate proposition that it is moral to respect your parents is no different than teaching children to believe in God. But I see this as a natural regulatory mechanism. If you enjoy being around your parents, then that is a sign that they did not abuse their biological station, at least not to the extent that they provided you value. But it is important to see that your parents as kids, not as being above you or being the adults, which may be difficult given that they seemed as gods when you were a toddler. So just look at your parents as kids. Perhaps try to associate with them as you would with a normal person, not taking orders, calling them on believing stupid things, and if they give you a look like you spoke out of line, then that's all you need to know. Right? They're stuck in the Christ age, move on. I know they may seem like normal people most of the time, but say the wrong thing and the primitive programming comes into play, you can see it in their eyes. Leave them behind and enter the new world. It is tempting to then wish to spite your parents after you have supposedly defied them, but don't play that game. Ignore them and find something else to focus on. Wishing to spite them is still in effect planning your life around them. Don't be controlled by mystics. Right? Build your new world.